Hi, welcome to the customer journey. When, when I get a new client, um, I often get a lot of pushback when I say, okay, let's sit down first and map out your customer journey. And they'll say, I already have a marketing funnel. I just need you to do the socials, which is so funny to me. Marketing funnel that's great. Customer journey is a little bit bigger, and social media is an integral part of that. So, what's the customer journey? It's the total experience, everything from when they first find out you exist to actually consuming and then the post purchase stages. So, it's the whole journey of how the customer sees your company and communications and kind of the sense they get as they travel through purchasing and learning about you. So just take a second, even if you have to pause and go grab some scratch paper. This is not graded, it doesn't have to be pretty, but just kind of take a guess at what you think the customer journey might look like. What are the steps a customer might go through? So often when I ask people to do that, this is what they'll give me. They'll say, okay, they find me on socials and they go to my purchase page and then they receive the product or service. There's a couple of pieces in here. I mean, this looks great, but we could add to it, right? Like, why don't we redirect them to socials after the deliverable? Go, hey, here is a Facebook community just for people who have purchased this item, or here is, join my Instagram account where I highlight different members or different clients or customers. Send us your pick and you can get featured on our Instagram. So you can actually re-engage them back into your socials. So when they did the purchase page, you could even kind of start with getting them re-engaged into socials here. So they purchase and between the time they get the deliverable and they purchase somewhere in there, you can send an auto email that says, thank you so much. Your product's coming up or being shipped or, look for our email with instructions. But we just want to take a second and say, thank you for purchasing from us. Follow us on socials, join this group, sign up for our newsletter and our tips and specials on more things you can do with this product. So it's like another little free gift that you want to re-engage them back towards your socials or your email list. I always prefer socials because if they've purchased from you, you probably already have their email. So you got your socials, your purchase, your deliverables, and back to your socials. In between there, you can also do an email after they get the item, like a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever the time frame of their customer journey is what makes sense. And send an email that's like, "Hey, welcome to the family. Welcome to our community. How'd we do? Drop a review." Or you can say, "Take this 3-minute survey for a 20% off coupon if especially if you've got a store." So they buy the thing and then they kind of forget about you in a lot of ways because they've got the thing, whatever that deliverable was or that service or that product. So re-engaging them with a, hey, we'd love to know how we did, and here's a gift to thank you. And then I generally will add somebody who purchased from me to my monthly newsletter. And it's not to spam them. This is why I don't do weekly or biweekly. It's so that once a month I can be like, here is a featured member of our community. Here is this new and exciting product or a resource, and here's some tips and tools and some updates to social media platforms, like some insider info. So it's just it's literally just a way to kind of keep the conversation going. And this is again critical if if you have a storefront and they're just you don't talk to them on the phone like a coach or a consultant would, because you're not going to have that chance to build actual conversation on the phone or on Zoom or even in person. It's all just through you know any kind of digital communication. So you really need to be building out that conversation in spaces where you can find them. So taking our deliverable there for a second, and so you've got your person that bought something already. You sent them the email to re-engage them. They're following you on your socials or they're in your social media group. And then you link them back to this new product, this new purchase page. And then you email them again and you start the whole journey over again. And it has no end. And actually, it looks like this. So it's this continual circular nurture that people end up in once they buy from you and they keep going. And because you're in their email just a little bit and you're on socials and you're connecting and you were so thoughtful and so great with how you reached out to them and spoke to them after their last product purchase, next time they need something, they are not shopping. They are coming to you because they're already in your circle of purchase. So the customer journey should be pre-thought out. It should be designed with the customer experience in mind. It's all about how the customer feels when they're in it, which is why when you write some of these posts and these emails, they don't have to be complicated. You are you're thinking like the customer. You're sitting in their seat. You're going, okay, if I got an email from this company, what would I want to hear? Though you're being them, right? Because you're not necessarily your ideal client. But so as the client, as the customer, what follow up are they looking for? What can you give them? And so instead of trying to sit down and just figure out what you're going to write, you can actually write a letter to that person. So you want to be focused on nurturing leads and building relationships at every step. Building trust by using the same language on all platforms, which is why they should all work together. Because if you have something on social media and it's got one tone, because one person's running your social media and then somebody else is running your sales funnel, or you simply are doing both but haven't connected them, they immediately will feel a disconnect if it's not all the same language. And you want to time it out so it's not overwhelming. That can also disengage or disengage from a client where you've gone too long. Maybe it's been 6 months or a year, 4 months, depending on the length of your client journey, and you just pop up out of nowhere and it feels a little awkward. So having those kind of stripped, slow timed communication pieces coming out is really a critical piece. But by not utilizing your socials, you're actually losing clients and more specifically, repeat clients. Okay, but how do we do that, right? So, one, you've got to be clear of where you're taking your social media followers and how you'll get them there. Like, map out the actual steps of what that journey is, and then create unity between your posts and your purchase page and your emails and your follow ups. So, this is where I keep saying social media is simple because you are already writing all the content you need for social media. You're just varying it slightly. You don't go writing new stuff for social media. Use that thought out, pre written content that's on your website, that's on your sales pages, that's in your marketing funnel. Go ahead and use that content and reutilize pieces of it for your social media. And we'll expand on that in the content module later. And then simplify. Do not try to tell too many messages at once. If you're trying on your social media to, you want them to know about this and that and this other thing. And did you know we once did this? And if you're all over the place, they won't even know that they're in a journey. They think you're just a page with random stuff on it. You want them to start being nurtured into it. So the way that you do that is to always have the journey in mind, always have the end of the journey in mind. So when you go to post in the morning, though, again, I truly believe in scheduling everything ahead of time. But so when you go to schedule out your posting for the month, think about where you want them to go in that month. What is the journey they are going on, and what is that moving them towards over the next couple weeks or couple months? And then remember engagement. You have emails and websites for all that kind of detailed, nuanced answering FAQs, all that stuff, and the deeper dive into what things are. The socials are to highlight the sell, but also the joy and the fun and the heart of your business and your products. So when somebody comments on your page or your post, reply. The idea of social media is to connect. It's not just your social. What I see a lot is, like, especially for Facebook pages, businesses will use their Facebook page as if it is a page of their website. It is not a page of your website. Have a website for that, even if it's a one-page website. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all of that is to create community and to build and nurture relationships. So social media is the piece that will drive the traffic to your website and purchase page, that will build trust and brand recognition, that will engage clients before and after they buy, and will help clients and customers discover you, help you reach out to people you otherwise would not be able to reach. And pretty importantly, one of my favorites is give you the data so that you know what's working or what's not. When you do a marketing campaign, even if it's a digital marketing campaign, we're doing digital ads on different websites or pieces around the I almost said the interweb, around the internet. When you're doing a marketing campaign, it takes you months to get back the data. Social media can tell you in a week. And in a couple of months, you will have a great deal of data of what worked, what was engaging, and what was not. So it's extremely powerful data piece.